Rain started to fall, a cold, steady drizzle that soaked the cracked concrete and cooked the night in silence. A black SUV screeched to a halt outside the abandoned warehouse. Jung stepped out, his all-black attire blending into the shadows, his gaze fixed on the rust gates ahead, calm, emotionless, the calm that came before the chaos. Mark stood beside him, earpiece in, giving no sharp orders to the rest of the team positioned around the perimeter. There is movement inside, two guards at the south door, one near Lily. Jungkook's jaw clenched. His Lily. He tilted his head slightly. Don't, unless I say so. My daughter is in there. No movement near her, not even by mistake. He said, voice sharp as eyes. I want him alive, long enough to see my face. Yes, boss. Then without a word, he moved like ghost. The first two guards didn't even see him coming, just a blur, then the crack, the silence. Mark and the others followed, surgical, restless, clearing a path through the darkness. Inside the warehouse, Ryan paced. He didn't hear them, didn't see what's coming. He was too busy barking on his phone. She hasn't called? What do you mean she hasn't called? Then a faint creak. He turned only to come face to face with Jungkook. His smoke died instantly. Jungkook said nothing. Not yet, just stepped aside so Jaehyun could see Lily in the corner, safeguarded now by one of Jungkook's men, who held her in his arms gently to keep her calm. Jungkook walked forward slowly. Jaehyun backed up. You don't want to do this, John. She came to me. She wanted my help. Wrong words. Jungkook's face connected with his jaw so hard Jaehyun hit the floor and bounced. You asked her, Jungkook said, voice low and terrifyingly calm. You touched what's mine. You took my daughter. You think you can take my daughter and walk away? Jungkook growled, but then, Appa, the little girl whispered, eyes wide. Jungkook looked at her, eyes red and puffy, snuffling her, tiny arms reaching for him. That was all he needed. Tears welled in his eyes as he pulled her into his arms, crushing her against his chest, burying his face in her soft curls, whispering apologies and promises. You are safe now. Appa's got you. She clung to Jungkook's jacket. You okay, baby? Did you get hurt? Are you feeling pain? He asked, voice softened just for her. She nodded, wrapping her tiny arms around his neck, that barely circling his broad neck. Her face buried in his shoulder, her little body trembled as she clung to him, her safe place in a world that had just been torn apart. Jung stood holding Lily close to his chest as he calmed little. Take her, he said quietly but firmly, eyes locked ahead on Mark. Take her to Ryan. Mark approached carefully, his usual composure strained. He moved to hand Lily over, but she tightened her grip, whimpering. No, stay. Jungkook paused, his hardened expression softening as he looked down at her. He bowed his hand to the back of her head, gently stroking her hair as he swayed her slightly, comforting her. Hey, my little warrior baby, it's okay, he said, going gently. Mom is waiting for you. Uncle Mark will take you. Boss, he hesitated, eyes narrowing, voice cautious. Aren't you coming with us? Jung didn't answer right away. He looked at Lily again, brushing her tear-streaked cheek with his thumb. He leaned in to kiss her forehead. His voice dropped to a soft whisper, gentle, loving, yet full of quiet resolve. Papa will come, I promise. I just have to finish something first, okay? Lily stared at him, confused, her lower lip trembling. Jungkook held her gaze, memorizing every inch of her face. Those wide eyes, the small wrinkle between her brows when she was scared, the pout that reminded him so much of you. Be brave for Appa just a little longer. Reluctantly, Lily loosened her grip. Jungkook carefully passed her into Mark's arms, placing one last kiss on her forehead. We will get her home safe, but her mother, she is going to ask. Jungkook's jaw tensed. Then, in a low, soft voice that didn't match the crimson around him, he whispered, "Tell her I will come back once everything is clean." He said, voice heavy, final. "I want this place. His files, his contacts, every trace. Tell her I will come back breathing." Mark didn't argue, he couldn't. As they were about to leave, Lily tiny hands clenched Jungkook's jacket as they passed by. Tears streaked her cheeks. Her voice was small but broken. Appa, don't get hurt. There was a long, haunting silence. Okay, my chipmunk, he smiled to reassure her little heart who can understand even in this little age. I just have to finish something first, okay? Appa will be right behind you, I promise. She nodded, clutching the sleeves of his coat one last time, and then she was gone. As Mark turned to go, motioning for the others as they vanished through the broken door, Jungkook stood alone, now just him and the man who dared touch his wall, and the fire behind his eyes had just begun to rise. The storm outside cracked through the sky, thunder rolling as if nature itself was bearing witnessing of the return. He knelt beside Jahyun, grabbed his collar, and growled into his ear, "You should have stayed there." Then the lights cut, the warehouse went dark, a single overhead spotlight remained harsh and cold on him, holding his enemy. Jahyun coughed, yet somehow he still tried to glare up at the man standing over him. But Jungkook didn't look angry anymore, he looked disgusted. You know what's worse than being weak, Jahyun? Jahyun tried to speak, but Jungkook didn't give him the chance, being a coward in the skin of a man. He took a slow step closer, each word hitting harder than any punch could. You used the innocent woman for your own weak satisfaction, lied to her, let her believe she had a future with you, and when she got pregnant, then instead of standing up, stand up being a man and taking responsibility, you told her to abandon the another innocent life. And now you use that same little girl to get to me. A flash of shame crossed Jaehyun's face, but he quickly masked it with bitterness. Jungkook stood over Jaehyun's tired body, voice cool and sharp. You are not a man, Jaehyun. You are a trash. The kind of man the world uses as an example of what not to be. You think you are better? You are just a thug in a suit. Jaehyun growled, but Jungkook calmly cut him off. No, I'm a man who would burn the world to protect the people I love. You are the reason women fear love. You are the reason she cried at night. Jaehyun tried to stand, but Jungkook didn't let him. Stay down. That's where you belong. The storm outside had begun to howl. Jungkook didn't look away from Jaehyun. He just smiled and said the words he had been holding in his heart for days. He sat curled up on the couch, Soyun's arm around your shoulders, eyes locked on the elevator doors like they were the only thing holding your heart together. Each second was agony, each minute stretched like a lifetime. Then ding, the elevator dreamed, your head snapped up, your breath caught the moment elevator door slid open, and there she was. Mommy! Lily, you ran faster than your legs had moved in days, weeks, months. Lily stumbled towards you with outstretched arms, tears in her eyes, a soft pink dress, wrinkled hair, messy but safe and sound. Mark was behind her, eyes tired but smiling softly. You dropped to your knees and crouched her mid-run, wrapping her in your arms so tightly she squeaked, but it didn't let go. You kissed her forehead again and again, sobbing into her hair. My baby, you are safe, you are here. Appa found me, she whispered into your neck, sniffling. He told the bad man to go away. You clutched her tighter, trying not to cry harder. He did, baby. He always will. Mark approached, his voice soft. She's okay. Mr. John made sure of that. He looked up quickly, asked desperate. Where is he? Why didn't he come? Mark hesitated, then he's cleaning things up. He didn't want to risk anyone tracking her or you again, so he decided to remove proofs until it's safe. You search his face, he will come back, right? Mark nodded, expression solemn. He told me to tell you I will come back breathing. Your lips trembled, you hugged Lily closer, your eyes locked on the elevator again, like your soul refused to leave it until he did. And in your heart you whispered, come back to me, Jeon Jungkook. So you left after making sure you both are fine. Mark was also back to his position to ensure the safety of Shion Empire. In your room, Lily clung to you like a little vine curled tightly into your side beneath the soft blankets. Her small hand feasted your shirt near your heart as if afraid you would vanish the moment she let go. You stroked her hair gently again and again, whispering soft hums and lullabies you hadn't sung since her first fever. Her eyes fluttered open every now and then, frightened until she heard your voice. Then she had settled, nose buried against your chest. Mama is here, baby. You are safe. You whispered yourself. She's here. She's okay. But your heart was split. One half clung to the sleeping child in your arms. The other was still out there and burning in the shape of a man who hadn't come home yet. Django. You watched the clock tick past 2:07 a.m. You tried not to imagine the worst. You tried to believe Mark's words. He told me to tell you I will come back waiting, but doubt crept in like smoke under a locked door. You didn't know when your eyes finally closed whether it was out of exhaustion or hope or grief. You weren't sure, but at some point the tension in your chest gave way to heavy breaths and sleep pulled you under. The last thought before darkness took you. Come back to me. Come back to us, please. The sky was still dark, navy blue, just a whisper of dawn creeping through the windows. Rain had stopped. The city outside was hushed like it was holding its breath. Inside the bedroom, the only sound were soft breathing. You and Lily lay curled together, her small frame tucked against your chest, your hands still resting protectively on her back. Neither of you stirred when the door opened. 6 months paid maternity leave, full salary, company covered apartment, 5 minutes from Hangang General. Your jaw dropped. What? And before you tried to argue, this came personally from the CEO's office. You called up with Lily, you, the only thing in the world that ever made his heart slow down. He didn't move for a long time, just stood there, breathing, watching. You are safe, she is safe. That was all he needed to see. But then Lily stirred slightly, her little face twitching, her face crunching in a nightmare. Jungkook moved before she could even whimper. He stood near the edge of the bed, crouched low, and gently brushed a hand through her hair. He softly whispered, Appa is here. You stirred slightly, eyes blinking open gradually at the sound of his voice. Your heart stuttered. He was real, he was home. A tear slid down your cheek. Your lips parted, but before the word could escape, Jungkook leaned forward and kissed your forehead, his hand cupping your cheek so gently it made your throat tighten. I told you I would come back breathing. They whispered, eyes tired but shining. The calm of him embraced you. You stormed forward and grabbed his arm, yanking him to face you. Where the hell were you? He shouted, whispering, voice breaking. He blinked in surprise. Why didn't you come back with Lily? Why did you send her alone with Mark while I was dying inside? Why? No. You backed up, tears welling in your eyes. You promised you would come back breathing, but you didn't come back at all. I thought maybe your voice cracked, just heaving. You don't get to do that to me. You don't get to walk in like nothing happened. Jungkook stepped forward slowly. I couldn't walk away while he still had power, he said quietly. I had to make sure it was over, for good, for her, for you. He shook your head, wiping your tears angrily. You think I care about that jerk? No, because I know you will do anything to save us, and that's why I care about you. Damn it, what if something happened? What if you didn't come back at all, and all I had left were your words? His arms wrapped around you instantly, tight and grounding. I know, I'm sorry, I wanted to come. I wanted to run back to you, but I couldn't risk him leaving him to repeat this. I had to clean up before I came home to peace. He sobbed onto his chest. He rested his chin on your head, voice thick. You and Lily, you are my peace. The silence followed after his words, just two broken people holding each other like lifeline. After a moment, he whispered, I'm sorry for every second I made you wait. You can yell at me again if you need to. Beat me if you want, but please don't cry because of me. He managed to confess, voice rough with overwhelming emotions. You looked up slowly, your round eyes glassy, lips parted, thousands of emotions swirling in your heart at the same time when Jungkook's gaze met yours, dark, tender, full of ache and apology. There was a war in his eyes, but in the center of it all was you. You didn't answer with words, but your heart was racing for another reason now. A secret you had kept beneath your ribs, protected through the chaos, through fear and fire. You pulled back just enough to meet his eyes fully. Then slowly you reached down and guided his hand to your belly. Jungkook paused for all, confused at first until he felt it. The soft swell beneath your shirt, the faint but undeniable curve of new life blooming inside you. His breath hissed. Ryan, he whispered, voice barely there. You nodded, lips trembling. I found out 2 days ago. He said softly, I was going to surprise you tonight, but before that. Jaguk's finger trembled against your stomach as if afraid even his touch might be too much. His eyes filled with no fear or shock, but with something deeper, love, protectiveness. He sank to his knees in front of you, hands still on your belly, lips parting like he wanted to say something but couldn't find the words. Instead, he pressed a soft, reverent kiss to his stomach, then another. Then he rested his forehead gently against it, his voice cracking as he whispered, I will protect you too. You ran your fingers through his hair, tears slipping down your cheeks again. But these weren't tears of fear, they were full of light, of healing. Jungkook stayed there for a moment, kneeling with his forehead resting against your belly like he was silently promising the little one a world better than the one he was born into. Then slowly he looked up at you, eyes sparkling through the remnants of tears, a smile tugging at his lips. Without a word, he stood and suddenly scooped you into his arms, making you gasp and clutch into him instinctively. Jungkook, he laughed, surprised, his smirk walking you toward the bed with all the confidence of a man who just got his entire world back. Tell me, Miss Fisty, you want a grand wedding with roses, chandeliers, and a gold-rimmed ice lace, or? You raised a brow, amused. Or a mafia wedding? He said, eyes glinting playfully. You in black, me with stain on my cufflinks, and wolves exchanged under moonlight with the whole underground watching. Looking and leaning into his chair sounds like a very you kind of wedding. Either way, he said, lying you gently down on the bed beside a still sleeping Lily. I'm marrying you. Your blind heart skipping. No more waiting, no more when things settles. I want the world to know you are mine, that we are a family. Then his voice softened, lips pressing your temple. And Lily, God, can you imagine her in a little flower girl dress, civil throw petals in every wrong direction, and still with the most beautiful chaos walking down the isley? You laugh softly, tears welling again, but this time from pure happiness. She will steal the soul, and I will let her, he moaned, as long as I get to steal you. He leaned in again, kissing you softly, one hand over your belly, the other cradling your cheek, and for the first time in a long time, the future felt like something you could reach for together.